How many times have you forgotten about that apple at the bottom of your fridge? Well, you're not alone. On average, every day in the UK, a whopping 800,000 apples are wasted. While a small act of forgetting and wasting your food at home may not seem like a big deal, cumulatively, it's adding up to a very big problem. The global food system accounts for 30% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. Not only that, growing food utilises precious natural resources, including soil and water. Simultaneously, the world's global population growth and increasingly interconnected nature of food systems is putting food security under pressure at the global and national level. In the UK alone, we're wasting 9.5 million tonnes of precious food, which equates to a value of £19 billion a year and a huge 36 million tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions. According to the IPCC, reducing food waste and improving our agricultural practices is one of the key solutions needed to mitigate climate change. So, where is all of this food going to waste in the UK? Food is wasted at each stage of the supply chain, from the farmer's field to that apple in your fridge. At production on farms, food can be damaged when harvested or wasted for being too ugly. In transportation, it can be easy for food to be damaged. Buffets and portion sizes can lead to a lot of waste in restaurants, cafes, and hotels. Retailers have to abide by strict rules when it comes to the food that they have on their shelves. They have to order based on forecasts, but if these are wrong, that can lead to surplus. And finally, consumers. This is where a total of 70% of the waste in the UK after the farm gate takes place. Bread, chicken, milk, and potatoes are what we in the UK waste the most. So, what's going wrong? We go to the supermarket without a plan and grab what takes our fancy, but then you realise you just never needed that lettuce, or actually plans have changed and you're going to go out for dinner instead. Labelling on food can lead to a lot of consumer confusion. Just because a vegetable has a best before date doesn't mean it's necessarily harmful to eat the day after and should be binned. And finally, people don't realise how a small act can have a big negative impact. So what needs to change? Improvements are needed at each stage of the supply chain. The organisation WRAP is working across all major retailers to implement action plans with their suppliers. You might have noticed that in supermarkets, they're now offering wonky vegetables for you to purchase at a potentially discounted rate. There are also some incredibly exciting and innovative brands doing cool things. Dash Water, Rubies in the Rubble, Toast Ale are all great examples of this. There are also charities working with supermarkets to get surplus food to food banks. In COVID, consumer behaviour saw marked improvements due to change in lifestyle. We were no longer going to the office and life slowed down a lot. Unfortunately, we've regressed since then. Now that you're aware of the issue, be conscientious in your shopping and waste habits. When you go to the supermarket, go with a list and a clear idea of what you're going to make. Love your leftovers. If you've cooked too much, save it for the next day. Spread the word. Now you know the real impact that food waste is having. Tell your friends and families about the importance of not wasting their food. We all need to take action to waste less food so that we can achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goal that was announced in 2015. By 2030, we need to halve per capita global food waste at the retail and consumer levels and reduce food losses along production and supply chains, including post-harvest losses. Collectively, if we're able to achieve this, there is the potential to also have positive knock-on effects for both climate change and our natural environment.